country founded by immigrants.
Well, this is a country
This is a
founded
unique
by
country.
This is a very unique country, and it was founded by some immigrants and some settlers. But just because we were founded by immigrants doesn't mean that 240 years later that we have to have the dumbest immigration policy in the world.
Well, this is
Margaret, I don't agree that all these immigrants or all these refugees have been properly vetted. In fact, we know that there are cases of people who allegedly were properly vetted and then were literally planning terrorist attacks on our country. That happened during the campaign, if you may remember. So clearly not all of these foreign nationals
but there are
have been properly
30,000
vetted.
people in the pipeline, Afghan refugees.
But my primary
Do you stand by
concern
it?
as the vice president, Margaret, is to look after the American people. And now that we know that we have vetting problems with a lot of these refugee programs, we absolutely cannot unleash thousands of unvetted people into our country.
These people
it's
are
not
vetted.
good.
These people are vetted.
Just like the guy who planned a terrorist attack in Oklahoma a few months ago, he was allegedly properly vetted, and many people in the media and the Democratic Party said that he was properly vetted. Clearly he wasn't. I don't want my children to share a neighborhood with people who are not properly vetted, and because I don't want it for my kids, I'm not going to force any other American citizens' kids to do that either.
No, and that was a very particular case. It wasn't clear if he was radicalized when he got here or while he was living here.
I don't really care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with me.
The American left is on suicide watch at this point. It's getting ridiculous, Margaret. And yes, I do believe most Americans will agree with J.D. Vance on the fact that, hey, look, you're in this country illegally, you got to go. We have all the data, we have all the statistics. I don't know how many videos I have to do on the border issue for American leftists to understand, yo, you can't defend this time. Nah, we're not taking it this time. You can't emotionally gaslight us into just going along with allowing illegals into this country. The only crime they committed was breaking into your homes illegal. No, go back to your country. Go back to your country. Like, at this point, I don't care if we look like the bad guys. And you saw from the intro, J.D. Vance continuously schooled this woke anchor. Like, I don't understand the left's obsession with defending illegals. And this just highlights more and more and more to the American people and to myself about my theory. If you're new to this channel, my theory here is that Democrats benefit immensely from illegal immigration. Illegal immigration increase their census numbers, which means they get more Democrats' House seats. They give more Democratic voters more electoral power over our elections. And if they get their way and illegals are allowed to vote in our country, the odds are in the Democrats' favor that they'll vote for Democrats, which helps Democrats maintain power and control over their state, and also may give them a big boost during national elections. This is the political motivations of the Democratic Party. So anyone defending illegals being in your country, this is the angle that I believe, this is the true motivation for why they sit here, play defense. They here arguing with J.D. Vance, talking about how a terrorist got into your country and say, oh, we don't know how he got radicalized. No one cares how he got radicalized. All we know is he's not supposed to be in the country. That's all we know, and that's all we care about. And the left's trying to frame this fake moral outrage over this crap. People don't care no more. We're a nation founded by immigrants. No, we're not. We're a nation founded by settlers. A settler comes to a country unmanipulated, like there's nothing here. They had to create the initial infrastructure. An immigrant comes to something that already exists. And yes, you can make the argument, yes, immigrants played a big part in how America is. But at the end of the day, America is a sovereign country. And it's within our right to decide who's allowed in here and who's not. And right now, the American people are not in the mood to be emotionally manipulated, to be gaslight into letting more people into this country at the expense of ourselves. You don't believe me? Okay. You don't believe me? Before I go more into J.D. Vance's continuously destroying this girl, I want to highlight a story that I saw over the weekend while I was spending time with my family about how Donald Trump tried to send the people he recently deported to Colombia, and Colombia president rejected it. And let's just say Colombia president found out real quick. Let's take a look.
The reason Donald Trump had to resort to these tariffs and sanctions and punishments today is because the president of Colombia refused to accept a flight of migrants. He said he wouldn't take them. Donald Trump said, we're going to enter the F around and find out portion of this conversation. And he hit him with sanctions and tariffs. And now tonight, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, says Congress is going to back him up on that. He's putting Colombia, he's putting the rest of this hemisphere on notice that you are not dealing with the same president that you were. You're dealing with someone who is taking illegal immigration seriously. Now, within an hour of making that threat, the president of Colombia said, whoa, 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 I'll send my own plane to pick these people up. So obviously, he got their attention. And they'll have learned a valuable lesson that Donald Trump is taking immigration, illegal immigration, seriously. This is real leadership, but it sends a message to everybody else in the hemisphere. Do not test us. This is not Biden and Harris. This is Trump and Vance. We mean business. Yeah, of course it is. And, you know, it happened under Barack Obama, actually. He deported millions upon millions of people, and I don't have any recollection of the U.S. economy collapsing. And no Republican, and I don't think most Americans are taking seriously the argument that the U.S. economy is underpinned by violent, criminal, illegal immigrants. I mean, if our entire economy is underpinned by people who are rapists and murderers and commit other violent acts, then, you know, we got a whole other set of issues going on in the economy that we ought to talk about today. I mean, people just aren't buying that argument. So the populations that they are starting with are violent, criminal, illegal aliens. Then they also have 1.5 million people who have existing, fully adjudicated orders. And beyond that, I would just point out that if you came to this country illegally, you're already a criminal, illegal immigrant. You've already broken our laws, even if you haven't been arrested yet or charged with it. If you're here illegally, if you broke our laws, then you're going to be targeted. Now, maybe you're not going to be a top priority today because there's other more dangerous people here, but we cannot send a message that, well, some illegal immigration is okay. And that's been the problem of the last 4 years. Basically, Biden and Harris were like, just get here and it'll probably work out for you. That is no longer the communication strategy of the U.S. government. The strategy is don't try us. Whether you're the president of Colombia or somebody who just walked across the border illegally, do not try us. It is not going to work out for you.
Give that man a show. Give Scott Jennings a show, CNN. You already have to do massive layoffs. I know he's not getting laid off. I know that for sure. I know him. Sure, Michael, they're not getting laid off. I'm just messing around. But damn, you saw how the ladies' responses were like edited out because we already know the response from the left. No one needs to I don't need to add extra like time for you to watch the video by sitting here and you listening to the American left's dribble about their delusional defense of illegals. Oh my God, it's going to hurt our economy. Test case number 1, Florida. Florida deported a bunch of illegals out of their economy, and their economy grew 4%. So it shows you that illegals are not kind of tied like the liberals like to exaggerate the impact that illegals have on our economy. Like this is the nonsense that many Americans are starting to see through. And he's right about the incentive structure. Show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome. If you show your kids, hey, certain bad things are okay around me, you incentivize them to continue doing these things. And what we don't want is we do not want to create an incentive for people to think they can just come here and they might be successful. We need them to come here and they know we won't be successful. And he's right when he talks about how illegals are technically criminals because they broke the very how you start off on the right foot by going into someone's country without their permission. Coming into a country without being invited, this is illegal immigration. It's like me coming to someone's house uninvited and they weren't home, so I decided to let myself in. Like, make it make sense. This is how these illegals are coming across. Entitled, like, the cry bullying ain't working no more. And that's why I'm saying, like, the Democrats lost the plot, bro. Trump deports illegals from Colombia back home. Like, send you back to your home. Colombian president refused to accept them. Trump imposed tariffs. 1 hour later, Colombia offers to help deport immigrants. Remember this next time a politician hasn't solved a problem because it's complex. Yeah, Trump really showing us the way, man. And this other argument, right, that the left like to pretend, right? Tom Homan talks about it a lot, about how these migrant children are missing, and check out this clip because this just shows that this is just political. Democrats benefit from illegals being in the country politically. Democrats are a party that put their needs first over the country. This is bad for the country, but it's good for Democrats. I already explained it earlier in this video. More House seats for Democrats, more electoral power for Democrats, right? These illegals disproportionately will vote for Democrats. And you only need, I forgot how the numbers, but if I remember correctly, you only need 2 million votes to create a landslide victory, technically, across certain states. And this is what Democrats are doing with illegal immigrants, transferring them everywhere to Texas, Florida, and all the other states. This is what people had a problem with. The Haitian migrator one, I was like, I'm not going back to Haiti. 17 convictions. You committed 17 crimes on top of the one where you come into this country illegally, and you're thanking Joe Biden and Obama for your ability to do so. And you think that will be a good message for Americans to hear, leftists? Who? Leftists, y'all really are anti-American. But y'all sit here and pretend that we're for the American people. Yeah, you for yourself gaining power to manage the American people. That's what you're really for, leftists. But I digress. Here's a segment that I want you guys to watch to show you that Biden had every ability to do this, but he chose not to. And I want to keep hammering this motive that the Democrats only care about political gain from illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants in this country are nothing more than pawns for the political ambitions of the Democratic Party. But I digress. Let's continue.
Because I'd like to play that on the air. Like if Pritzker would like to defend these people without the court and just his old love for illegal immigrants, bring it on. I'd love to see that. Now, the second wave that Tom Home and the borders are for Trump has told me about in all of this will focus on those missing children, hundreds of thousands of them that we know. And that number has started to already come down, Emily, from 300,000. So they've found about 75 to 80,000 of those kids already. If they can get the list of these guys, 4 full days in office for Trump, if they can get the list of where some of those kids have been, and they've been identifying it, since the election, going after them and trying to find those little ones, what in the world was Biden's administration doing? What was Secretary of Homeland Mayorkas doing when he said to the committees on Capitol Hill, we don't know where those kids are, I'll look into it? No, dude, you obviously had a better way to find them, and you didn't do your job. I can't believe they impeached him and didn't remove him. Because
And it's the same thing that journalists did. Mayorkas did the very same thing that journalists did about Joe Biden's mental decline. They didn't want to look into it. They didn't want to look into it. That's the obvious truth because they benefit from it. Let's just be honest. They benefit from this, right? Here's ICE along with local enforcement conducting an early morning raid on a makeshift warehouse nightclub in Colorado, targeting Tren de Agua. Sorry, guys. Gang members. 50 illegals were arrested. Guns, drugs, and cash were also seized. This is the left? This is what the left's trying to defend? Is this what the left's trying to defend? And the left, you guys are making me laugh online, leftists. Yeah, making me laugh online. In my comment section, on X, y'all making me laugh, right? Libs, MAGA, this is what you voted for? Are you happy? Me, yes, this is exactly what I voted for, and I couldn't be happier about the job Donald Trump is doing. Like, it's ridiculous. They keep trying to put this narrative like, oh, there's Trump, there's regret now. What? What world you living in? You didn't see Trump's approval ratings? It's the highest it's ever been in his history. In his history, the highest approval rating in his what you talking about? No one's regretting nothing. And this is the problem with the lib. The lib lives off of projection. They project their feelings onto other people and pretend that people are feeling the very same way they are. No, we're not. Me and you are not the same. The reasons you voted for Harris was not the reasons I voted for Donald Trump. And because Donald Trump's not doing what Harris would have done, doesn't mean people are regretting about it or regretful about it. And this absolutely bothers me about the left. The leftists, bro.
Well, Margaret,
they're very self-congratulating, right? Very self-congratulating people here, right? And this is the message. This is the message I think every American can resonate with.
Well, Margaret, I don't agree that all these immigrants or all these refugees have been properly vetted. In fact, we know that there are cases of people who
all you have to do is go back to my video about criminal illegals lashing out over ICE crackdowns. And you're going to see they haven't been vetting these people. There were some illegals that they found in Boston. Sanctuary City, by the way. Right? Because imagine this. Liberal, how can conservatives regret Donald Trump winning the election when there's liberals happy that Donald Trump won the presidential election. Oh, you don't believe me? I was gonna hold on to this video and make it its own segment, but I'm like, no. I'm gonna add it on top of this one. This is Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, lib, independent, I will add. But his commentary on the fact of how Donald Trump won perfectly encapsulate J.D. Vance. I don't care, Margaret. Let's take a look.
The deal. The man was impeached twice. He was convicted on 34 felony counts. And the American people still said, he's closer to normal than what we see.
Exactly.
Left. That's what they're saying. He's closer to normal. Why? Because something that pertains, when you talk about the transgender community, for example, and you're talking about the issues that pertain to less than 1% of the population, the Democratic Party came across as if that was a priority more so than the other issues. And so he comes into office. Now you're talking about childbirth, citizenship, and what have you. He knows that's not going to pass the mustard, but he knows that he made that promise. So when he shows up week 1 on Capitol Hill and he says, this is what we're going to do through an executive order, even though it's going to be shot down through the courts and what have you, he's saying, I kept my promise. A lot of other things that he's going to point to that he's going to try to do. I kept my promise. Then you turn around and you look at the left and you say, what promises did you keep? Now, you might know the answer to that. I'm certainly not questioning your knowledge about that at all. What I'm saying is what resonated with the voter. What voter out there can look at the Democratic Party at this moment in time and say, there's a voice for us, somebody that speaks for us, that goes up on Capitol Hill and fights the fights that we want them fighting on our behalf. They didn't do that. And that's why their behinds are home and that man is back into the White House. And they want to sit up there and talk. You look at the networks right now, they're talking about him. Look at it. This is the latest. Look at him. Here he goes again. Well, you know what here he goes again means? He's doing what he said he was going to do. He promised you he was going to do these things, and he walked into office week 1, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's saying, y'all do something about it. And when you try to do something about it, he's going to say, look at them now. Now they're concerned about these issues. Were they talking about that during the campaign? Hell no. That's really it.
So if an independent voter like Stephen A. Smith, who voted for Kamala Harris, can see, he's politically blind in my eyes, but even he can see that Donald Trump is doing what he's supposed to do. And Donald Trump is doing the things that he ran on. Hey, I'm going to try to end birthright citizenship. He's trying that right now. I'm going to mass deport all these people. The biggest mass deportation operation in history. I want that behind my name. Donald Trump said that during the campaign. Now he's doing it. Libs out here trying to sit here and pretend that we're going to regret it somehow. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. This is not Joe Biden, liberal. This is not Joe Biden, leftist. Joe Biden ran on the fact that I'm going to be better than Trump. I'll never preemptively pardon my family. Joe Biden 2020 when he was president-elect. 5 years later, pardoned his entire family. Did he run on that? Did he ran on the fact that, hey, I'm running for president because I want to pardon my entire family? He didn't run on that. But you trying to equate it the same as Donald Trump pardoning January 6th when he, in his campaign, said he made it known that he was going to run. He was going to pardon January 6ers. And we still voted for him. What you got to say now? Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. You mad that a politician promised something. Voters voted for Donald Trump based on some of the things that he promised. Trump then becomes president, then goes and do the things that he promised to do. And you think Americans who voted for Donald Trump, you think Trump supporters, you think Trump voters are regretting the decision. When even an independent who voted for Kamala Harris could see that Donald Trump is doing something in the favor of the people that voted for him. Make it make sense, leftists. And you wonder why I always have this bias about liberals, about leftists. You guys are the masters of projecting your own insecurities onto other people and pretending that that is fact. Oh, you guys must be regretting Donald Trump. No. We're not regretting Donald Trump winning. In fact, we're happy. He's doing exactly what we voted him to do. To be our hero and to be the world's bad guy. That's what we hired him to do. Joe Biden couldn't do it. Kamala Harris she definitely can't do it. That's why we have Trump in. Because like, damn, these countries don't respect us. Damn, these illegals don't respect our ICE agents. They come up to ICE like they treat ICE like guest assistants. Hey, help me take my luggage inside of your country. That's how illegals was running with. That's the kind of energy they were running with during Biden's administration. Now during Trump's administration, they're running. They're scared. And Americans don't care. Because illegals, if you're a Democrat watching this video about this young black man going off on immigrants, if you're watching this, you need to understand that many Americans that voted for Donald Trump felt like their kindness was being taken advantage of. When we see all these illegals getting all these benefits at our expense, you should have known that wasn't going to go well. You should have known. But Democrats are not known for their common sense, right? And I don't know. I just feel like it's I don't know. It just feels like this is like we know the interview. We know how the interview is gonna go. Is there even a point to rewatching the videos? The left really will go down. Is this a hill you're willing to die on, Democrats? I hope so. It's a losing one. Every data, every poll, every statistic, when they ask Americans about illegals, majority of them says that they want them deported. But Democrats still opening their mouth, rejecting what the American people want. And then they're going to be the people pretending that they're the party for the working class. No, you're not. The working class is more at risk. The working class is at a disadvantage when illegals, workers are allowed to work in our economy. It depresses their wages. It doesn't hurt these Hollywood elitists like Stephen A., Bill Maher, Hollywood actors. Most rich people are Democrats. Yet Democrat voters are pretending like there's some revolutionary, like they're fighting against the system. No, you are the system. You're part of a party that the wealthiest and whitest people support. Democrats. And you sitting here talking like you getting mad at me? Me? You Democrat voters didn't want Joe Biden to run in the election, and they still ran him. And they was panning on you voters to just go along with it, and y'all did. Some of y'all anyway. And you wonder why Kamala Harris lost. But instead of looking at yourselves, instead of looking at your party and seeing the F-ups that they did, you just want to scream at Donald Trump. Oh my God, Donald Trump, he's deporting people like he said he would do during the campaign. No, eggs are not going down. Egg prices are not going down. Relax, he's only been president for a week. It took Biden at least 3 months to ruin everything. It'll give Trump the same amount of time to fix everything. But they're already trying to create this, oh my God, conservatives are regretting voting for Donald Trump. No real conservatives really regretting Donald Trump right now. We're loving everything we're seeing. And this is why I share these videos. But I digress. I think I went on enough tangent. I think you guys get the point. J.D. Vance came in. You see, woke analysts are still trying to defend illegals. Then I show you the outcomes of what happens if these countries are not taking them back. Because that's the biggest critique that the left loves to put out. Oh, these countries are not going to accept these illegals back. They said they wouldn't. They said that right now. But let's see if they're still saying that after sanctions and tariffs. And you saw how Colombia crumbled real quick. Oh, they no one's want to sell Greenland. A couple moments later, Greenlanders are willing to talk with Donald Trump. It doesn't matter what Denmark thinks. Denmark says if Greenland wants, they can. Oh, but the left just taught us that it was impossible. The left are the biggest pessimists in this country. They'll sit here and convince you that something's not possible when it in fact is possible. All you have to do is try. And Donald Trump says, I won't know until I try. But I digress. Enough of my ranting. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be interested to hear what you guys are thinking, what you guys are saying, and how you guys are taking all this information, because it's crazy. It's crazy out here. This feels like a TV show, but I'm done. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if you feel so inclined, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.